A good one in the NFC South to wrap up Thanksgiving night. It's the coach. This is Week 13 of the NFL on EA Sports. Tonight, after our yearly trips to Detroit and Dallas, this year we head down to Atlanta, where the crowd will be full but rocking as their Falcons take on the New Orleans Saints. I'll see you again at halftime. But first, we're off to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Coach, it is a perfect night here in the capital city of Atlanta, Georgia. We've got the roof open, and we are ready to go at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. We thought the old place was loud. Somehow this place got even louder a short time ago as the Falcons were introduced to this sellout crowd. We're set to go as the Falcons get ready to match up with Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Ryan. High throw, but he makes the catch. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 19 yards right off the bat, and a quick first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. And finding the tight end Hooper. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 22-yard line.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. He was looking for Mohamed Sanu there, and that'll bring up second down.
59, ready, 25.
Throwing again, Ryan. It's hauled in by Hardy. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's third down. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often. So many things go into making a good play on defense. In this situation, just not being blown out of the way was a big start, and then a nice tackle to finish things off.
So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. So Brees going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at their own 26. This is Alvin Kamara, who made the Pro Bowl in each of his first 2 NFL seasons. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of you are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the second half. But right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a first down, pick it up, and keep moving.
Breeze now on first down. Flushed out right. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's second down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. Now a nice throw here, right side. He hauls it in. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 23 yards the pickup there.
Jared Cook is a guy who's been around the NFL. He's been with the Titans, the Rams, the Packers. In the last 2 years in Oakland, now he makes a move to the Big Easy, where he pairs with Drew Brees and forms a nice little threat.
Throwing now is Brees. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. Adrian Claiborne, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Gotta imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Tack McKinley make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
Well, a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. He'll let it fly in the direction again. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. Touchdown, New Orleans. Ted Ginn. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Saints have taken the lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
Well, you know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's 2 different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position. Where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
Marcus Davenport there to take him down. Defensively, though, they had a chance there to hit him for a loss. Couldn't get it done.
Looked like someone was able to knife into the backfield, but he wasn't able to get him down. But his compatriots, they were able to grab him at the line of scrimmage and not let him get any further downfield.
They run. Devontae Freeman. And he will have a first down as they get into the ground at the 37. They get the first. The decision to run on 3rd and medium winds up being a good one.
And Falcons fans everywhere excited that Devontae Freeman is back on the field wearing number 24 in the red and black. Remember, he went down in week 2 in 2018 with an injury and didn't return. They're hoping to see the form that led him to 1,000-yard seasons in 2015 and 2016.
They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13. On 2nd down, Freeman. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here, 3rd and 14. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. 3rd and long, it's Ryan. Swings it out to the flat for Freeman. And he can only get this to the 42-yard line, and that is not near enough. After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Back now in Atlanta, second quarter action. The Falcons with the football, but likely not for long as they're in punt formation to kick it away. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin them back. Drew Brees getting ready to go again on offense. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter. A big change in field position there. That's 40 yards on the catch and run. So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10. Brees leaves this one with Kamara. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. Now it looks like we'll get a timeout as there's a Saints player down here on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back.
Ready, 95, 56, 59. Hey, easy.
Brees now on 1st down. Gets this to a standout receiver, Thomas. And able to get this down inside the 15 to either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds.
Come on, one thing for sure. You know that Michael Thomas is going to be the target on a 3rd down pass, and Drew Brees finds him and keeps this drive. Moving.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Now a first carry for their fullback. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
Let's face it, you always want a team full of guys who can get you first downs and big plays of all styles, but you got to have a big man you can just turn and hand it to, and he can be dependable in picking up first downs.
Now Brees. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. Ted Ginn with his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
5 plays there on that drive. And it all culminates in a Saints touchdown. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. They trail now 14-3, an 11-point deficit as they start things out with a 1st and 10. The drive will start with a carry by Devontae Freeman. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12. On 2nd and 12, Ryan, they'll set up the screen for Freeman. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. And chalk that up as a 4-yard loss. And now it's 3rd down.
Time to give a little credit here That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool them, right? Tried to trick them. Ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
Well, that last completion certainly not what they were hoping for, as now they'll try to convert on third. And he's got Sanu. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. And they pick up 25 as they convert on third.
Mohamed Sanu is a guy that is often overlooked because he just quietly goes about his business. But how about last season? Had a career-high 838 yards on 66 catches, and he can also play Wildcat quarterback for you as well.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Now Ryan going to give it to Freeman. And, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
Well, now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. After the penalty, here's Freeman. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. The Falcons on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Ryan. It's caught. Jones. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. It's a gain of 26 as they pick up the first down in the process. Ryan now hitting on 80% of his passes in the early going. 8 of 10. It's first down. Now Ryan. And this one brought in by Sanu. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Back to the running game. It's Freeman. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 3.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play, stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. It makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact. I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone, get you 6?
Yeah, they finally get to him, but not before he's past the 45 to the 46-yard line.
Any return that gets you to midfield is a great return. 1 first down, and you're almost in field goal position.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. Now, right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Now that sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
5-9.
On 2nd and 12, Breeze. And this one complete to Smith. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 28. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. On first down, Breeze. This is complete to Michael Thomas. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Here we go, here we go.
On first, here's Washington. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
Here we go, D. Here I come again. Here I come again.
Off the play fake to Kamara, it's Breeze. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. He was trying to get it that time to... Again, but it'll be second and goal.
Second and goal at the 6-yard line.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's second and goal now. Now Breeze. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. The Pro Bowler Michael Thomas was the intended receiver, but now it's third and goal.
All right, Captain, let's batten down the hatches time defensively. Dodge 2 pass attempts to the end zone. Now what do you think they're going to try and dial up on third and goal?
Well, knowing them and knowing what we just seen, I think they're throwing it again, don't you?
I think you have to. I think in this situation, you've kind of run out of your running plays. Fire another one into the end zone.
Be ready, be ready. 21. Check, 59. All day, baby, all day. Hey, Delta. 59.
Breeze now on third and goal. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Once you get into the... red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
Still a little bit of time left here in the second quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
And they have to be happy about that, and we haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis on trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of the half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play, because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened up secondary, playing a lot deeper than normal. So even if you run some type of misdirection, you're only going to fool them for a second or so. And guess what? They're so deep, they're really not going to be out of position. Take the knee, get to the locker room.
An abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3. Set now to go for the third quarter. The Saints have the lead and set to receive the kick. This will be fielded at the 6. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line.
Let's go!
Out come the Saints now. They'll go on offense first here to begin the third quarter. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Quit talking about it.
On second down, Washington. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
5 men in the secondary now for the Falcons on third down.
53.
Working from the gun, it's Breeze. Being chased out left. And Ginn's got it. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Where they convert on third with a gain of 22.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, it was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice first down.
Hey, team 6. Team 6. Mark, check, 59. I got him.
Play action. Breeze. Thomas has got it. Complete. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he get a good head of steam going.
And he gets it down to the 32. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
From the 32 now, here's first and 10. To throw is Breeze. And brought in by the tight end Cook. It'll be a Saints first down on a pickup of 13. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
Easy.
They'll run on first down. Keller. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's second and 11. And the pressure gets to Breeze as he's taken down. Grady Jarrett making his presence felt. He gets the sack.
Well, no, it takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a third and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Check 59, Mike.
On third and long, it's Breeze. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Josh Hill, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast, game Second half, no matter what, with those first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever, this was a big score to start the second half.
Here comes the Falcons offense. It's their first possession of the second half now. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Here's Ryan. The connection made. It's Graham. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Oh, he nearly broke that one. As it stands, though, a heck of a 36-yard run back. And the Saints will have a short field in front of them. They take over here, 1st and 10.
Ready. We're waiting. Kill. All day. Here we go. 45. Ready, take.
On 1st and 10, here's Breeze. And this is Cook with a grab.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7.
Easy. Under. Check 31. Check.
Here's the fullback, Zach Line. He's got the first down here inside the 30. Touchdown, New Orleans. Zach Line, his first touchdown on the year. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. And I want to give the big guys some credit because he deserves it, but where was the defense there? Because he's not a burner.
I think they fooled him big time by handing him the football. It's not normal for him to touch it very often on a running play. I think the defense was just ill-prepared for that eventuality.
So 2 plays on that scoring drive. That's how they drew it up. And a long run into the end zone, and what a run it was. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. On 2nd down now, it's Freeman. And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. Tackle made there by Kiko Alonso.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. And that'll do it for the end of the 2nd quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. On 3rd and 1, Ryan. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Cameron Jordan in there to get him, and that is now sack number 18 on the season for it.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Ryan. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. But no reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. felt compelled to go for it there on fourth down, trailing in the fourth quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a fourth down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Go!
So after the INT, it's Breeze, eluding the pressure right. And Thomas has it. Boy, he ran free there after the catch as that winds up going for 38. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Now, that's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
So second in inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
And, Brandon, this is where it pays to have a big back who can take over a football game, especially in the fourth quarter when you've got the lead. Your ability to not just wear people down, but close games out.
They'll run with Kelly. And he'll get 7 yards from the 17 to the 10 before he's taken down.
It's a gain of 7. Brings up 2nd and 3 at the 10-yard line.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. On the carry is Kelly. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
And that's the type of run that you'll live with. In this game, he's had a good number of carries. He's just been unable to really break off anything substantial.
They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends.
Hey, easy. Check 24, check 24.
This is Zach Line, the fullback. And he is in for the score. Touchdown, New Orleans. Zach Line with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the fourth quarter. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. And once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. Ryan firing quickly here, and that's complete. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd down and 9.
The Falcons on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times and 8 chances. This is 3rd and 9. From the gun, it's Ryan. And he's unable to haul it in, so it falls incomplete over the middle third of the field, and that brings up 4th. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it #1 for what we've seen this season.
Can see this quite a bit on running plays with the guys out wide. A lot of times, though, it doesn't get caught.
You're exactly right, because it's away from the play usually, so a lot of it goes undetected. But I know this will surprise you. I coached some receivers in the offseason. We work a lot on hand placement and blocking downfield. Might want to take that course.
They'll keep it in the hands of Kelly. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Jim, here we go. 5-1.
And now we're going to get a delay of game. And that's going to back them up halfway. Well, they're inching closer and closer here to the wrong goal line.
When you're backed up like that, all you're trying to do is make sure you don't give up a big play, right? You don't miss an assignment that really gets you into more trouble.
Sammy! 50 seconds. Hey, wahoo! Hey, easy. Give me that ball, defense. Yes!
From the gun on third down, Breeze. He'll let it fly in the direction again. And unable to connect, incomplete. Give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth. Down. Here's Thomas Morstead now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. And here now come the Falcons. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Alex Anzalone. The blitz works to perfection as he gets in there to dump him for a loss of 8. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Now Ryan. Going to throw right side here, complete. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. Here's Ryan to throw. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. To throw is Ryan. Jones has it. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Now Ryan. This will be caught at about the 5. And he's brought down. 16 yards, a 1st down. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves. but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really...
And that is caught. Well, they're going to see this one to the end. They get a score, but pretty much an exercise in futility right now. Still down big.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now the Saints get set to trot out there. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. Well, the drive starts with Rob Kelly. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead, positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3.
Easy.
And now a carry here for their fullback.
Now, how about that call handed to the big guy in that situation? Normally you think of him as a real short yardage runner, but in this case they trust him to get a few more yards than that. I remember an old New York Giants quarterback, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, telling me he loves offense coordinators who call the plays with a little bit of abandon.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. So this one, a victory here for New Orleans. And they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever was said at halftime obviously hit home. I think it's a little bit more than that, though. Obviously, there are words that are said, and, hey, come on, guys, we have to play better. But sometimes it's just sharpening your execution, sharpening your focus, and maybe doing the things you practiced all week without major adjustments, just doing them better.